Hey everyone, today I'm going to point out one small detail about each killer, focusing mainly on their visual or sound design. Let's get into it. On the trapper's left leg there are many bandages wrapped around the lower part. This is likely due to his left leg always being the one that gets clamped whenever he steps in one of his own traps. The other leg has little to no visible damage. When the Wraith swings his weapon, you can hear the bones of AZHYMOVS' spine rattle. On the Hillbilly's lower right arm, you can see some staples holding together a wound. This is likely the wound he received in his tome lore, from the police dog that bit him in the same spot. The nurse's stifled breathing could be a reference to her power, and the way she appears to steal the breath of those she kills. However, her perk Strider suggests she may simply have the condition of Strider being noisy or high-pitched breathing that occurs due to obstructed airflow through a narrow airway. Possibly her blinks require her own breath to charge, leaving her constantly wheezing for air. On the shape you can see a red handprint on the back of his left shoulder. This presumably appears after his scuffle with Lori, her blood-covered hands leaving a mark. Due to the split of the hag's arm and body pieces, as well as the bandage and what looks to be belts wrapped around this attacking arm, it's likely the arm had completely come off when her captors tore away her flesh, and it was fused back to her body with use of the hexes, explaining why it's both overgrown, a powerful weapon, and also more like a claw than a hand now, due to the hexes and their great power. The Doctor's add-ons are particularly interesting. Killers' add-ons are used to amplify their emotions in some form, giving them power, as a result of giving the entity power, which runs off of emotions. Where most other killers have add-ons that hold emotional significance, or represent important moments in their life, Doctor's is filled predominantly with files and tapes, from his work and experimentation at Larry's. This shows that his peak emotion was gained through his twisted research. The only things that invigorate him are his experiments, as well as his tools, and maybe a bit of chess. I think weirdly his add-ons are a great way to show just how cold, calculated, and messed up this guy is. The Huntress wears military-style belts, specifically from the soldiers she killed after they entered the Red Forest. Where a sidearm would be holstered, she has a hatchet. Her two add-ons to increase her hatchet carry number, infantry belt and leather loop, also seem to both appear on her base character model. The Cannibal's in-game lobby pose is likely based on a behind-the-scenes photo from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. I've mentioned this one a few times now, but I think it's a cool detail still. In the Nightmare's original power, you could briefly see the face of Nancy Holbrook, the other protagonist of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. This is not visible in-game however, as Freddy no longer has the ability to pull survivors into the dream world. You can see it within the reveal trailer still though. The pig growls when she does an ambush attack. This seems to be a reference to the scene from the first Saw, where Amanda kidnaps someone with a growl-like sound effect playing. It seems this sound effect was incorporated into Amanda in the realm, as a sound she could simply create, as she replicates it after each ambush. The clown's jacket buttons have a small face on them. It could possibly be a lion or something, a lion tamer being a common circus act. As it's mentioned to be a stolen ringmaster's jacket, it could simply be that this circus's ringmaster's main attraction was lions, and so featured them on his coat, before it was stolen by the clown. It's also interesting that the clown doesn't technically wear a clown costume then, but a ringmaster's outfit. When the spirit performs her mori, she cuts the survivors in the same place in which she was cut by her father, before coming to the realm. And for the other Yamaoka, the Oni, he too performs his mori in a vengeful way, replicating the way he killed the Lord who desecrated his name, by calling him Oni Yamaoka, resulting in him tearing his tongue out. The Legion's mask eye holes appear very jagged and uneven, likely suggesting they carved them themselves using their hunting knives. Alternately, Susie's mask appears to be pieced together by braces. She is shown to wear braces beneath her mask also. In her lore, the plague cuts off one of her toes, after a sick woman approaches her. Adiris cuts it off as an offering to the gods, in order to save the woman. On her character model, we can see she is indeed missing a toe. Further, this toe is a visible add-on, named Severed Toe. This add-on's description mentions that the toe was weaved on a thread, and worn as an amulet around the neck. I'm not sure whether the amulet she wears in game is meant to be this. It doesn't look like a toe to me, so presumably she doesn't visibly wear it on her character model. When the Ghostface lands a blow with his weapon, he wipes it in the same way his Scream Ghostface counterpart does. The Demogorgon's power is named Of the Abyss. This is possibly a reference to the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition book, named Out of the Abyss. The Demogorgon's name, of course, being taken from D&D within Stranger Things Season 1. The Deathslinger's jaw appears to be broken, presumably from the bullet wound inflicted, referenced in the Jaw Smasher add-on, picturing a round of ammo. It mentions it ripped through Caleb's jaw during a shootout, explaining the damage. Further, his other yellow add-on named Chewing Tobacco mentions that he looted this item from a gutted man in Glenvale, a possible reference to his first spear gun iteration, that tore out a man's intestines. Therefore, looting him after definitely makes him seem more sinister. I wasn't too sure what to say for the Executioner. One thing that is interesting about his design though, is that he's currently the tallest killer in the game when standing upright, just a bit taller than Nemesis, due to his pyramid head. Due to his usage of the Blighted serum, the Blight appears to have grown additional fingers on each of his hands, both of them totaling 6 instead of 5. We can see the serum having these effects too, on some characters' blighted cosmetics, such as doctors, where more than 2 eyes are visible. Within the Twins add-ons there are many different items that can be seen, and from their perk Hoarder we know that they like to cling on to what they have. Therefore you would think at least one of these things would be on their person. However, not a single one appears. Instead we can see some surgical tools, a kettle and 2 cups, a pan, a leg of some kind of animal, a blanket, and 2 pouches. The one thing I do believe could possibly be visible from the add-ons is Madeline's scarf, with a similar shaped cloth being visible around Charlotte's waist, and the flavor text mentioning that the twins kept this item as a memento to remember their mother by, so presumably this would be very important to them, and it would be something we could visibly see. The Trickster's eyes are yellow. It's been confirmed that this is because he wears contacts, a common thing in K-pop, mentioned in the consultation with Kevin Wu video on YouTube, which is on the official Dead by Daylight channel. When the Nemesis uses a Mori on either Jill or Chris, he'll say the word STARS, a reference to his original goal in the Resident Evil games to eliminate the members of STARS, a branch of the Raccoon City police force. These are also the only words he ever says, or seems capable of saying within these games. Despite the Cenobite in-game saying the line, "The box, you opened it, I came," when teleporting to a survivor solving the lament configuration, the quote from the original 1987 film is, "The box, you opened it, we came." As 4 Cenobites arrive, instead of the singular one within a trial. All 4 of Pinhead's purple add-ons represent each of the Cenobites that arrive in that scene. Chatterer's Tooth, for the Chatterer, Greasy Black Lens for the Cenobite named Butterball, Impaling Wire for the female Cenobite in this scene. I actually couldn't find a name for her character, so drop it down below if you know it. Then of course, Original Pain for Pinhead, as it pictures a pin. For the artist's detail, I kind of want to incorporate the area of Crow's map as her detail. Both share the feature of this ink-like substance. The map's description states, "Within the entity's realm, the humble lot has been twisted into a grand celebration of the bloody events that took place." I believe therefore that this map may be a combination of the entity's influence, but also Carmina's artistic interpretation of the events she experienced, recalling the awful events that took place, and painting them into what is the area of Crow's map itself, in the realm, explaining the ink blotches seen to cover the floor, as well as the dramatic and foreboding swirling mass of crows at the spire's center. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I felt like that was an interesting thought. When the Onryō attacks, a Japanese character is visible. This apparently translates to the word curse in English. Alright, well, that's gonna do it. I do hope you enjoyed, and be sure to drop your own thoughts, or any details you notice for the killers, down below. Thanks, and goodbye.